This is five things we learn brought to you by Vertical Football. Yeah, Chelsea 2, Brentford 2. Not not the best of game, not a good game in my opinion, not a good game at all. Most especially from the first half. And I think the second half was a little bit better with some individual players, but the first half was not. We didn't even come close to the level we want to touch at all. At all. That's not the level that we are aspiring for as a team. So let's just walk right into this game. Let's look at it from the first half and then we'll move on into the second half and see things that we should have done better about and things that we did well also. Because as much as I feel like it is not a good game, there are things that happened in the match that I felt like, okay, this is nice. We need to build up on stuff like this. So the first thing for me is I was surprised. I was surprised with the way Brentford showed up in the game most especially with the 5-3-2. That's not something that they have used at all in this season coming from Kate Andrews. He had played more of a 4-2-3-1 and sometimes 4-3-3 and sometimes 4-4-1-1 because I took my time to, but that was it just came right at us in a different way. And why do I speak about this formation first? I think he impacted the first half a lot. Having 5 players at the back was something I never thought we were ready for that. He didn't. There was this way he just disrupted the whole view of the game. Yeah, because you're having a 5-3-2, all the 10 players sitting behind the ball or let me say most of the time, 9 players being behind the ball. You're having 5 at the back line, 3, and one guy standing kind of like dropping into that 3 and just the Thiago guy staying up front as the one who is chasing after our defenders if we are trying to like pass the ball around. And because we did not start with a target man, because we didn't start with a 9-9 figure like that, Joao Pedro was coming out of that space. He just made the whole front empty and we could not stretch their back line. Tactically, I felt like that was what created more problem for us. It was impossible for us to stretch the back line because nobody was there doing the pinning job or trying to run into all of those spaces, which I find like there was no even space in the first place you want to run into because they were very close to themselves. The 5 guys and the 3 guys, it was just more like it was more like they wanted to stay as a 8 on one line, it was crazy, I tell you. And it just disrupted the whole plan. And another thing I saw in the first half was our passes were very, very sloppy. We passed the ball like as if it's been 6 weeks we played football. I know the international break and players going to play in a different country, all of those kind of things can build up to this kind of issues, but it was sloppy performance in the first half. We didn't play anywhere close to the level that we are expecting of this club to play. And so let me speak about Buonanotte. I think Buonanotte is a good guy. And this is not me calling anybody out. We just want to speak about things that we saw. He played as the number 10 in this match. He's a good guy. He's a guy who likes to get on the ball and do a whole lot of things. But in this particular one, I think he should have been that guy because in my preview show, if you watched it, I spoke about individual brilliances and I thought him being that guy who is going to be in the number 10 role, he should be that guy who creates something. He should be that guy who take up the responsibility of bringing something out of the game. And I know that's too much of responsibility to put on him, but at the same time, he's playing in the number 10 role. What I saw was it was too positional. He stood too much in that 10 role, in that 10 position, and he forgot to act the role. As a number 10, it is expected of you to come out into the wide space. You are playing in the central position. We understand. But you are playing against people who have 5-3-2 and their 5 and 3 is not so far from themselves, so you cannot be in the pocket. It's not possible for you to be in the pocket in those situations because there are a whole lot of numbers around you. I was expecting that he should come out wide into the right hand side of the field. I know Enzo Fernandez is there, but at the same time, Enzo Fernandez, when he sees that okay, a creator is here, he can drift down into the left hand side of the pitch or just stays to be that guy who covers for him in case there is a loose ball or Bonanote wants to drop a pass, but he was just there. And what did that cost for him? It didn't even cost him alone. It cost the club, the whole team, in the sense that it became hard for him to create anything. And if you didn't get anybody to create something, there is no way we would have done any damage to them. We're looking at the first half where all we had was just one shot. And even that one shot, I'm not sure it was on target or something. Maybe probably be a block shot. All we had was just the continuous pass. And I spoke about this in my previous show. I said, one of the weaknesses that we are going to get from this game, looking at the Brentford side who wants to defend and push us on the attacking transition or on a counter attack, was we kicking the ball around, just pa, here and there, no creating ability, no shot. And it was just, I know I'm just going all around because the thing is just going all around in my mind. I never expected to see this in this match. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was surprised. And Enzo Maresca, I was speaking to Shegun while I was watching the match. I said, as much as this guy is good and fine, he still has the element of gamble in his game. That changes, it was just too much. Those changes it was too much. It was too much. Maybe he looked down on Brentford. I don't know. I'm trying to see from where he's seeing from, because the two viewpoints I could see from those changes were international break and Bayern Munich on Wednesday. And Bayern Munich on Wednesday, this is Saturday. We still had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 3 days. These are professional player. There's recovery time. I'm trying to understand where that amount of changes came in from, because he really just made the whole first half sloppy, and I don't know. It's just there's no positives to pick from the first half, if I'm being honest with us. And I've spoken about this thing. I think we have to be factual with ourselves now. Our performance is beginning to drop. Yeah. And I know we say, oh, we are all caught up in the emotions, but when we see things, we need to start speaking about it. Yeah. Our performance is beginning to drop. We spoke about the Crystal Palace match. Oh, they set up this, they set up that. That was not the performance we want to touch. In the West Ham match, we were better. In the match against Fulham, we got the winning, but we knew that this was not the performance that we want to play as Chelsea. What we have seen in the Club World Cup, what we saw last season we know the performance we want to touch. I'm so sad to say this. You're not going to win games with this kind of performance. Yeah, you're not going to win games with this kind of performance. You want to up the level. I don't know where that's coming from. Probably it's being mental and tactical. I think we're good with our tactics, but I don't know. That's just it for the first half. So going into the second half, I think what I spoke about in Bonanote, I think Kopama brought that into the match for us. I'm not going to hype any player in this particular content I'm making. I'm just going to say it as I see it. Kopama brought in what we were asking of Bonanote in the first half, which was as a 10. When nothing is happening in the middle of the park, you have to take the instinct, you have to take the proactivity or the proactiveness as a player to go into places where when I get the ball in this position, I can do damages, I can create chances, I can create something that the other players can feed off. And Kopama coming into the game, it changed the whole game. It changed the whole game totally. Yeah, and you saw it. He went in the second half. He went into the white space. He went into the left hand side. Sometimes came into the right hand side to get the pass. it's just something that we are expecting from somebody that feels that role of the attacking midfielder. And I don't blame Buonanotte. I think he just needs to go back and watch his own game and see, like, okay, this guy that came in as a sub for me, this is what he did differently from what I was doing in the first half. Two different profile of player, but there is something that the role was requesting for. Yeah, so, and Reece James also, these are part of the positives of the game. I think he brought in that balance in the midfield. Caicedo looked a little bit tired in the first half. Yeah, you saw it even in the first 17 minutes because of the transition from Brentford, the way when we lost the ball up front, the way they are finding players, Kevin Shade, the place they are finding Thiago. It was stressful for them. Yeah, I understand, but it looked tired. I think we should put it on the international break. But Reece James coming into the match just he gave us balance. It was easy for us to like start attacking them, and I think when all these three changes came in, it was easy to get the goal. And another person I want to speak about is Jamie Gittens. For me, I'm not impressed. I'll be very honest with myself and honest with you guys. I'm not impressed. I think he's not stepping up to the game. Yeah, the games requires more of you than what you are giving us. It requires more. Yeah. So and I understand Sanchez being furious. Yeah, about that second goal, and I think it's something I want to speak about. Let me speak about Sanchez before I go into that goal. His anticipation game was top-notch for me in this match. Like 3 chances, he saved us. If he had taken 2 seconds late, to like approach the ball, I think they would have scored us close to like 2 to 3 times. He anticipated the ball well in this match, came out at the right time and swept the ball well. But for that last goal, I'm not going to blame anybody, but I'm going to say 5 players against 1. You are never at any point in time expecting, no matter the advantage the player has, 5 players against 1 should not be winning the ball. Yeah, and I'm speaking about that long throw coming into the box, and you're having 5 players around 1 player and he's still heading the ball. I know there are advantages because this guy who headed the ball was a tall player, but at the same time, you are 5. If you are 5, you need somebody to be either badging him or somebody to be using hand to hold his shoulder down, or somebody who is contesting the balls with him. Somebody to be contesting the ball with him. How did the ball come out there? 5 players, and the ball just came out and went on the far side of the post, and it was just a simple tapping from Fabio Carvalho. A deserved draw from Brentford, I would say, and this is beginning to come in ways that I don't think we want to keep up this kind of performance. I think we want to step up this performance. I'm anticipating to watch the press conference of the coach. Yeah, there's not so much things to talk about. And one last thing I want to speak about before I leave is I got a realization, and I think this is me thinking too far, but I will speak my mind and say what I thought about. We having chunks of players does not necessarily equate to or equals quality in these players. Because if you are changing that amount of players and putting them into the squad, I know they are going to be downside, but I did not expect this much level of drop in the quality of play. Yeah. So that is just opening us to the fact that because you have loads of players on the bench, that does not mean you have quality on the bench. I think it's something we need to think about, and something the transfer is over. We just need to speak about and allow these players needs to understand they need to step up and get into their game. I know there are excuses for them. You're not going to keep me on the bench for 2, 3, 4 matches, and when you're giving me one chance to play, you're expecting me to play to 100%. But I just got the realization that a lot of player does not necessarily mean you will have the best squad. So this is just all I can say. I know this sounds like ranting. Yeah, it's definitely ranting because I was downed by the performance. I think we can do better. I think if we want to contest, if we want to fight for something, if we want to go into Europe in the coming week, you don't want to be preceding going to Europe with this kind of performance. So guys, what do you think about this match? Do you think it is mental? Do you think it is tactical? Please drop it in the comment section. And what are things that you also saw in this match that I have not spoken about? Please drop it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. And please, you know what you do for us. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. Till we see some other times. Thank you.